Hi all, Jigsaw's Glitch here. I hope you had a great Christmas and got some nice gifts this year. This is the commentated version of the Wrong Pocket TM36 glitch, Pokemon Gold and Silver versions, that allows you to throw a Pokeball with infinite users and get a chance to obtain a copy of another trainer's Pokemon. When any TM or HM is used outside of the TM or HM pocket, it can be used to execute code. Some TMs and HMs such as TM25 in Gold and Silver and TM33 in Crystal execute code from writable memory, meaning their effect will vary. These TM and HMs are two examples of TM HMs which can be manipulated to execute arbitrary code. Other TM and HMs such as TM36 and TM featured in this video will always execute code from a constant ROM location. The easiest way to obtain TM36 in Gold and Silver is to use coin case arbitrary code execution. To do this, you will need the coin case, Bellsprout or Max's Pokédex entry, a fresh low-level slide Pokemon in slot 3, and a specific Pokemon in slot 4. In this video, we will use a Crogsire holding a TM2 with Return as the first move. This makes the program counter jump to DHCO. DHCO is the second character for box name 1. We are also going to use specific box names to give us TM36. Using box names to execute code is easier to set than using stored PC items for the code, which has commonly been done before. The problem with stored PC items is that it is required to place specific items in the PC, and some of these items like TM06 may be one-off items that you can only get once in the story. Additionally, if the code required more than one of a non-purchasable item, it will make the code trickier to set up. With specific box names, although it can be a little hard to create the code you need due to a limited number of available opcodes and operands from the characters you can choose, it makes setting up coin case arbitrary code execution much easier, because once you have the coin case, Bellsprout or Max's deck entry, the slide Pokemon, and Crogsire holding TM02 with Return, all you have to do is enter in the box names using the PC. To perform coin case arbitrary code execution, after you've got everything prepared, you should walk in a specific pattern in the overworld, listen to Bellsprout or Machop's cry, change item pockets and use the coin case. The commonly used pattern is making 4 steps right after stepping out of the door for Elman's lab, where you are below the first tree. But in this video, we take 4 steps right from the Cherry Grove City Pokemart instead, so that we are below the second tree. After using the coin case, we have to change the first item in Ball's Pocket 1 into a TM36, which means that it can now be used to obtain another trainer's Pokemon. To prevent the game from freezing after giving us the TM36, we made a couple of tweaks to the game's memory. This has the unfortunate side effect of slowing down the start menu to an extreme, but if you hold down A and mash down, you can eventually get to the save option. Saving and resetting the game will then bring everything back to normal. Now, in order to use TM36, you must encounter a Pokemon first and then the battle, before selecting the item. If you don't encounter a Pokemon first, it may cause the game to freeze. First, we are going to use TM36 to capture Elite Four-Wheel Zato at Kanto's Pokemon League. Match rate for catching any Pokemon with TM36 is low, but it can be increased slightly by freezing the enemy Pokemon or putting it to sleep. This level 41 Smeargle knows Self-Destruct and Spore. It is at a low enough level not to KO Xatu, but it also has the ability to take a hit and put Xatu to sleep. The first time we attempt to put Xatu to sleep, we unfortunately get knocked out by Xatu, which is why it may be a good idea to save the game before talking to Will, unless you're using a better Pokemon. After being defeated by the level 40 Xatu, we were wiped out, but TM36 will give us a low chance of catching our own level 40 Xatu. This Xatu will have randomised stats, and we can continue to use TM36 to obtain multiple Xatu. Please note that after using TM36, you may be stuck in a glitch city, meaning that you should always prepare the Pokemon to fly or teleport before using the item, and use it in a place where you can fly or teleport away from. This time we were really lucky and caught Xatu on our first throw. It takes us a few more attempts to capture another Xatu. Note that these Pokemon are said to have glitchy nicknames, but if you decide not to nickname them, they will rather have their actual species name. Additionally, two of the same Pokemon you catch for this glitch will most likely not have the same stat. Before we attempt to capture another Pokemon, we'll go and feint Pidgey to allow us to white out while the enemy Pokemon is sleeping. Instead of doing this, you could also switch in the level 6 Pidgey and have it get knocked out before the Smeargle comes in, or before it uses Spore. I overlooked that in the video, so if you want to do this glitch with multiple trainers, you probably won't have to go here to feint your Pidgey. Next, another good Pokemon to copy is a Pokemon from the opposing trainer in the trainer house. For example, we can put Picow's level 50 Meganium to sleep with Spore, white out, and then use TM36 to catch a level 50 Meganium. Theoretically, this should work with any trainer house Pokemon you force via mystery gift. Additionally, TM36 can be used to copy a Link Battle trainer's Pokemon if you forfeit the match after it was the last Pokemon sent out. However, the Link Battle trainer's Pokemon may have different moves to the original, and its stats appear to be randomised. Incidentally, you may have noticed that the playtime is stuck at 80:59 throughout the video. This is probably because the in-game time previously maxed out at 999.59 and I changed it back to a lower value, so that may be why the time hasn't advanced yet. One small note is that saving and resetting the game won't let you escape from the glitched overworld, so you'd likely need Fly, Teleport or theoretically Dig or Escape Rope if the Pokemon's caught in a dungeon, or Arbitrary Code Execution to escape.